Hey, good evening, everyone. We're in the East Coast and in the West, you can say today. So this is going to be an interesting one. Last night we kind of went Australia to the East Coast, so that was pretty fun. So those of you who don't know, this will be the sixth episode. So they've been moving along pretty rapidly. Hopefully your day was great. Hopefully you've enjoyed the last set of series. We've had such a great time filming them all, to be quite honest. So basically, we're here with our good friend Rita from Simply Elegant Balloon Designs, and she's going to tell us where she's located, and she's going to also tell us if she's a twister decorator or a deco twister.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Rita Garza. I'm with Simply Elegant Balloons out of Oakland, California. I'm actually primarily a balloon decorator. I have done twisting in the past. I used to be a clown and then decided I didn't want to do that. Uh, um, and so did real basic twisting and actually got into balloon decorating by accident. I took a class that I thought was for balloon twisting. It was done by a guy named Charles Prosper, and it turned out it was a balloon decorating class, and I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about your neck of the woods. Obviously, the West Coast is very kind of a saturated market, so to say. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yes, it is. I'm in the East Bay, San Francisco area. There are a lot of balloon decorators around here. I'm a part-time. I've been doing it part-time for over 15 years now. I'm getting ready to retire, so I'll be going into it full-time. But there are a lot of balloon decorators in this area, and you've got from small companies to really huge companies. Um, I'm very fortunate that where I'm at in Oakland, California, I'm able to access, or I'm able to go to many different locales. You know, you charge for the travel and all, but I'm able to do that. And there are a couple of companies that I've connected with. One who has gone out of business in Alameda, so she sends me her business when they call if she doesn't want to do it, because she only does the real high dollar ones. And then there's a company in San Francisco. Yeah, thank you very much. And then
I've
there's a
I've actually
company.
heard of those people. So actually locally we have one, and someone was telling me they're like she'll interview you to find out exactly what you want to do, and if
Mhm.
it's high end she'll take it, but if it's not high end she don't want it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly,
I'm like,
exactly.
you've had a brand for 35 years and now you want to pick only the good people. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, and that works for me because I'm the smaller company. So, and it gives me volume because of the smaller gigs. So, and a smaller gig would be like about a $300 gig, basically. Or when I'm usually that's what it is. There's
Right.
also a pretty good sized balloon company in San Francisco. They don't like coming to the East Bay. I don't like going to the city because of the parking. So he sends me East Bay gigs, and I send him the San Francisco gigs. So it works out really nicely. I'm very fortunate with that.
Right. So, given everything that's going on right now, I mean, what would you say? What would you say the state of mind is like in California with what's going on?
Well, we're on lockdown. California just got put onto a total state lockdown. So nothing is moving. I do know some people are still doing, they're pushing just straight deliveries where they just drop it at the door. But as far as actual decorating, no. I have a friend who's a twister and face painter. And she's scrambling, for any kind of work because that's all she does. She doesn't have I have a regular job. She doesn't have a regular job. Balloon twisting, art deco, and face painting is her main thing. So it's very difficult right now. So, I'm hoping that we get through this sooner than later. I think what's going to happen is we're just going through a real slump. What's going to happen is once the dust settles, I think we're going to be slamming. I truly believe we'll be slamming once the dust settles, because people have put it, I've had at least four cancellations on deco for parties. And what everyone says is that, well, when everything's done, we're going to do it. It'll just be later in the year. So be it. So that's
Correct.
right now for me, that's how it is.
So, how do you define success, so to say? I mean, obviously, you know, depending on your clientele, but what do you consider defining success?
I think for me, success is when I get repeat customers, when I have clients that come to me because they like my work, they like me, they know that if they want something, that I try my hardest to give it to them. I think success also is when you have other companies that will send you work, that they trust you enough that they will give their clients to you, because that can always blow up in their face, and then they get bad reviews or bad calls saying, oh, they didn't do a good job. And I have, knock on wood, I haven't had that yet, so there's always a yet. So I think for me, that's success. I'm hoping that I'm retiring in 2 more weeks. And so this is going to be my full-time gig once the dust settles. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to take classes on how to market myself more, and take some more classes. And I think that that's going to help me be more successful. I do other things also, but this is what I love to do. People actually, when I got into this, people are like, why do you do balloons? It's like, well, I can't cook, I can't sew, I can't bake, but I can do balloons, so that's what I do.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I remember, and obviously, there's something about, you can never compare September 11th with what's going on now. But talking about
Oh,
sewing, I remember when everybody wanted a patriotic flag. I mean, me and my dad sewed flags. So, I mean, to think, what is the difference between then? The difference, obviously, is unfortunate people lost their lives, and the fact is that I remember sewing flags after September 11th. But yeah, it's just it's a strange time to even be in the event industry. It's a strange time to be a small business owner. It's a strange time to be a restaurant, a venue. Let's face it, we've already had our fair share of venues that have closed for financial reasons and whatnot. They just had one that had like 35 locations across, like, I believe it was like 15 states. And I mean, obviously, that left a lot of brides and grooms high and dry, and other people. So, I mean, it's just a
I
ripple
think I've heard
effect.
of
And I just read in the wedding group that they were talking about how you should A, look at your contract, B, try to work with your vendors, and then some people complaining that the vendor can't work with them. I think the reality is, like you said, though, the problem we're going to face is, how many people's events can you really do on, say, August 7th? I mean, there's a point where you can only do so much.
it.
So yeah, so it's just very, very, very different times.
Well, I look forward to that particular problem. I have not had that. I'm able to space them out during the course of a day. So I set my scheduling. So I'll start like really early morning, if went on really good days, and run through the course of the day, and then come home and lay down and sleep for the rest of the night.
Right.
But yeah, you're right.
So what made you really get into balloons? How did it all start for you?
Well, like I said, I was a clown, and we did face painting and uh, the magic lollipop tree, the treasure chest hunt, that type of thing. And it was a lot of fun. And then some balloon twisting, but extremely basic. So we decided, I have a partner. Her name's Teresa Castro. I'm Rita Garza. We work together on and off together. And we decided, okay, well, we need to up our game with the balloon animals. And that's when I went to the class and met Charles Prosper. And then I kind of, she still does the clowning. I don't do the clowning anymore. We used to do singing telegrams also. I don't know. I just found that I'm a believer that if you find something that you like to do, do it. And balloon decorating is my creative edge. I'm not a painter. I'm not I can't sew, I can't bake, all that kind of stuff. But balloons, I mean, I love. It is just so amazing to go into a place and be able to meet a client and look at the walls and go, well, you don't want to use that dark color because you got dark walls, or, you want to give them I've been doing it long enough that I can go in and go, well, you know what, that's a dark wall. You don't want to do black because you're just going to lose it, and you're always going to do what the client wants. I always tell them, I'll do what you want, but this is my opinion, and then show them pictures and refer them. I love Pinterest, so sometimes they don't get it about the colors, and so I'll go to Pinterest, check that out, be very specific. I want black, gold, and burgundy, and just throw it in there, be very specific, and so, and they'll come back and go, you know what, that's right, that is kind of dark, isn't it? You know, so that's nice to be able to do that. I just love it. I love the different kind of parties. We did a decoration for a dog's birthday. I've done divorce parties. I've done, well, you know, for the cannabis clubs. You know, I mean, I've done a lot of weddings, quinceañeras, bridal showers, baby showers, you know. So, I mean, I just love the variety of it. I like meeting the people. And, but mainly I just love the decorating. I love going on to like Qualitex or Balloon Friends or any of the balloon groups and checking out what's out there. And man, it's just amazing, the variety, and it's my creative edge and it makes me happy. So I love to, and I can make some money. So I love doing it. There you go.
So share with us a little bit about your marketing strategy, something that has worked for you and something that hasn't worked at all.
Telephone, the telephone book. I did that for a little while and I stopped because I got nothing from that. For me, primarily, it's been word of mouth. I've got some really great brochures that I have, like thousands of them. I bought them out from a company that went out of business. So I have like about 15,000 of them. So I just stick my sticker on there with my information and I pass them out all over the place. If I do a gig, I leave a few there. You know, I go around, I network. I'll go to restaurants, and that's what I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks, where I've done it just like kind of piecemeal here and there because I was working or have been working a full-time job. Now my game plan is that I'm going to really go, I'm going to target certain areas. Like there are small, like there's a city close to me, Alameda, a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, a lot of party venues, and it's close for me. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to go introduce myself, take my brochure, maybe take them a little sample balloon centerpiece so they have a little something there. And that's primarily what I'm going to do. And then, of course, Facebook, I get some gigs. I have a page on Facebook. So, you know, I refer people there. I spent the money and got a website. Haven't got too much off of that, but I'm hoping to push that a little bit more. But that, for me, that's what I'm doing. Most of the gigs I get are word of mouth. So, and like I said, reaching out to the other balloon companies and having them refer has been really helpful also. So at this point, that's it. I'm hoping to generate more business by just getting out there and just hitting the pavement and just making my presence known. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my game plan at this point. I want to take more classes in learning to learn better ways, smarter ways. You know, what is it? You know, you have to spend the time so you can learn the best way to market to your business, for your business. So that's my game plan at this point.
Correct. So I'm assuming you started on Facebook, so you had a Facebook page to start. But what made you actually consider even a website in the first place?
Because everybody asked me if I had a website, and I've had a couple of them, but they were like free websites. So it really did not, you know, they had long HTTP, you know, just really, it was difficult for them to get into. So I finally decided to spend the money, and I went through GoDaddy. And I had them put something together for me because I'm not tech savvy. I needed somebody who was tech savvy that could just do that and that I could just, you know, tell them what I wanted. The process took about a week, threw the pictures in there, and I have more that I'll be adding on. And they put it together. It looks really good. It's very professional. People like it when they see it. And so, you know, that's been very helpful. So that was why I got the website. But I still have Facebook. I get a lot off Facebook. And then like my flyers, I think once I really start putting those out there, or the brochures that I have, I think I'm going to be generating more there. And those brochures are actually very basic because they're old. You know, they've got just the columns and the arches, you know, the spiral arches, the big columns, which do not reflect the new designs, the linkaloons, organic designs, the new designs that have come out. So those are what I'm going to do in a flyer. Those are the ones that are on the website. Those are the ones that are going on Facebook. So, and I can refer the clients, because a lot more I find about 75% of the people I speak to are on Facebook. And if they're not, they will go onto a website. So that's been helpful for me.
Now, what do you find useful in helping you stay focused as someone who runs their own business?
Money. I want to make money, stay focused. I want to work. I really want to work. I like to work, and I like to work at something that I like to do, which is the balloon decorating. So, I like to help people. People come to me with an idea, and I can help them put something together. I like that. That's helpful. And I think people like that it's not just, well, look at this brochure and just pick a couple of things out of there. People like it when you spend time with them, when you actually, come up with some ideas. I have this thing about, well, hold on a minute. I'm thinking, and it's like, well, what we could do? We could do this, or there, over here, we could put, some arches right here, or we could do an organic design right there, or we could put, flower balloons on the walls or outside, Lincolns for single arches, finding out what they like, what their budget is, if they have one, and then trying to upsell from that. Those are real incentives for me. And I think the people like it, that I just spend the time with them,
Right. So I know you've touched on probably one of them, so I'll probably let you say 4 of them then. But the actual question is, what 3 people in the balloon industry motivate you and influence you?
Oh, Linda Bruce. I always remember going to some classes that she did. I would travel to LA to go to a couple of classes she did. And also one in San Francisco at SF Party when they were still doing those. Man, she was really good. I think, what's his name? Willow Deminsky or something like that. Anyway, there's golly, 3 people. Oh, the balloon lady in San Francisco. That's old school. That was when the first big balloon company I got to work with, and they were out of San Francisco. It was the balloon lady, and they used to do the black and white ball. I got to work on 2 of those. That was an amazing experience, because they didn't just do one location. They had like about a mile of garland that was outside, and then they did the decorating inside. It was an amazing experience. If anybody's been to a black and white ball in San Francisco, they'll remember the balloon decorating there. That was phenomenal. Newer, man, there are a lot. There's just so many on there. You can't even pick, because what I like is I like the oh man, there's a lady out of San Antonio, Texas, and I can't remember the name of the company, but she's the chick that's doing the numbers out of the foam core. I don't know what they're called. I'm going to learn about those. Oh golly, there's 2 guys. I don't know their names. I see them on Facebook, but they're just very innovative, and it's really nice that they share their experience, their techniques with people, on YouTube. It's not all about, pay me the money, because not all of us in the beginning have the money. So it's nice to see that on YouTube. I'll get the names. I'll get them to you. But 2 out of 3, I think I'm okay. Okay.
So let's ask a real serious question. So there's a lot going on right now. So you're a part-time balloon person who obviously has a job. You're about to retire in 2 weeks. It's in the middle of a who knows what's going on situation. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the transition, and how do you feel how you'll be able to overcome the obstacles from that time until obviously you're back on your 2 feet and we're all on the ground again?
Well, I'm I'm extremely happy about the transition, going from a regular job to doing something that you have to do because you got to pay the bills to something that I'm going to really want to do. It's a little bit scary, but I'm not afraid of that. I've worked many different jobs, and I'm not scared of working hard. So that part is okay. What was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
Oh, the second part basically was how are you going to overcome the situation
Oh,
and land on your
well,
2 feet again?
yeah. Well, you know what? I know in my heart, I know it's going to come back up again. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And whether it's a few months or 6 months or 9 months, it is going to come back. So I have enough, I've been getting ready for this transition. So I have enough that I can, between Social Security and some money that I got, I'm going to make it as far as that's concerned. So it's not like I'm going to be in dire straits. If anything, I'm looking forward to this time to use the time to get ready for when everything starts to open up again and business starts coming in again, because people are going to be so ready to party that I think we're going to get slammed at some point in the future, not the near future, but I'm thinking by the end of the year, I think we're going to see some huge events coming up. And so I'm kind of gearing toward that as a new beginning, and I'm going to use this time to learn more and practice. I have a whole basement full of, boxes of balloons. And so there's no gigs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those balloons and I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to start doing decorations. When I do a gig, sometimes I will have to go do a breakdown. So what I do is I bring them in, I set them up on my porch. So people drive by my house and they see these decorations. I got an organic arch on my porch right now from a gig from a couple of weeks ago that I left in my truck. And actually it's Qualitex. It's a good balloon, so there's so many good balloons now too, the quality is really good. But I think it's going to come back. It's just, we're just going to go through a little bit of hard time. It's not like we haven't had hard times before. We all go through that. But I don't know. I think I'm the eternal optimist, and things are gonna work. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to train myself.
Right.
I'm going to use this time. I'm going to practice. I'm going to learn more, and then when it starts to hit, boom, I'm going to be ready to go. So that's my game plan.
Right. So kind of in closing, I guess a good question in closing, and you're actually going to be the first person to answer this one. What is your thoughts and your approach to Easter right now? I mean, let's face it. I mean, you got people who are trapped in houses. You got people who probably are annoyed as hell with their siblings or their loved ones. I mean, that's just family,
Yeah.
issues that happen.
The
Um,
dynamic. Yeah.
but what do you see as a trend? And then I'll give my opinion once you give your thought on
Okay.
how you're going to approach
Well,
it.
I've had some people ask about Easter, and so I told them, well, if nothing else, for the religious, there is the balloon cross. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
tabletop, larger size. I can do that. I can drop it off. Some people want the Easter basket or the Easter bunny. Yeah, I can do that. I can drop it off. But as far as and actually, that's, now that you mentioned that, that might be a good thing for the church, because there will still be some people that are going to hit the churches anyway. And I have done some work for some churches, not much, but you never know. Maybe now is the time to try to hit that again. Yeah, I don't know. Easter, normally, I'll be honest with you, I don't do a whole lot for Easter. I'll do the Easter basket that they use as the photo to stand behind for photos. I've done some outdoor work, but I don't do a lot at Easter. I'll be honest with you, I do more for 420 than I do for Easter. So, and then mainly birthdays and stuff. So I'm hoping that people are going to be so tired of the of not being able to go out and do anything, that they're going to want something light and bright to brighten their homes, since they're not going to be able to work for a while. And if they are working, I'm going to, oh man, that's a good idea. You know what? I'm going to hit the big businesses, and take something out there and see what I can do for them. Or even the candy cups. That would be great to do those. Of course, it depends on when it's going to happen. I don't know. You know what?
Right.
Easter, I'm not seeing anything big happening for Easter, actually, unfortunately.
In my opinion, and it's funny because as a distribution company, you see kind of what happens. And, I think when Monday rolled around of this week, I think a lot of people kind of froze in their track. I think they kind of made decisions that they normally wouldn't make in every day-to-day decisions. And I think us included and others kind of put a freeze on a lot of things. But what we did notice is balloon companies are still buying the Easter balloons. There was a surge over Wednesday, Thursday, and a little into today. We have noticed, obviously, an uptick in that. So the question is, are people really working harder? I think the problem with New York and California, and I believe there's a third state that's actually in lockdown. I think the problem is, when will the lockdown end? And I think that's where the problem becomes, because who wants to be getting caught? I was delivering balloons, You'll have a story to tell just from that. We're not a
necessary service.
I mean, and I think the reality is, people have the right idea. I mean, I've never seen so many people kind of mobilize. I mean, I am working with somebody who is a twister and a designer, and I know that they posted something up, and it was about candy cups. And I know I saw the price, and I went, "Wow, that's kind of low." But exactly, somebody in the comments said, "That's pretty low," and I got that the frustration's already started, because this particular person said, "Well, all my restaurants canceled, and this is all the money I got, so I'll take anything." It's kind of like what Stephen Jones said earlier tonight. He basically said that they used to have $100 minimum order. I mean, if somebody called up for $50, he'll go out. Would he go out for one balloon? Probably not. I mean, the reality is, if your price is way too high, somebody's going to remember you for selling them a one balloon for $75 and may think differently of your business. So I do think that people are kind of prepared to help assist what's going on. So it's going to be interesting to see, even over the next few days into next week, especially with Party City closing all its operations to the end of the month. That's pretty amazing. So,
really? I did not know that.
Yes, so that just happened. That just happened probably like 6 hours ago. So there's a lot at stake here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's just a crazy time. So in closing, tell us a little bit about your thought on the future of the balloon industry.
I think that it's just going to grow. I think it's going to survive. It's going to flourish. It's going to grow, because people are there's always going to be a want for balloons. And I think one of the things I found is that people are still surprised when you show them an actual balloon decoration. If you show them your brochure, or you show them your website or your Facebook page, go to my Facebook and check it out, and they go, "Oh my gosh, I never knew you could do stuff like that," because people still envision the balloon on a string. I'm amazed that people still have that mindset. They really have not seen any true decorating, and so sometimes they're in awe. Sometimes they're just amazed at, and can you do it in this particular design? Absolutely. And do you know how to do that? Absolutely. I say that even if I don't know, because I figure I'll go learn how to do it. So and I always do. I've been very fortunate in that. I love this business. I think that it's not going to go away. I think, and now that we have, and what's trippy too is I finally found helium. I'm a real small business, so they cut me off. totally cut me off. I had to drive like 60 miles to go get helium, and I just found a place in San Francisco. So I got the 244, which I usually don't do because it's hard for me to maneuver. So it's sitting in my house right now, So I'm grateful to have it. And yeah, no, we're not going anywhere. We're not going away. It's definitely, it's going to be a force to be not reckoned with, but it's definitely a force. Everybody wants something. And as time goes on, especially following this particular period in time, we're going to be the color. We're going to be the joy. We are going to, we're going to be the ones that are able to give some happiness, and after a while that's definitely what people are going to want. So I see a big resurgence after this major lull that we're going down. Maybe I'm over optimistic, but hey, that's the way I am. Okay.
Well, we want to thank you, Rita, from Simply Elegant Balloon Designs, for joining us. And it's funny because I'm gonna step aside for a minute, and I'm just gonna remind folks I've had this up here for I think almost 10 years. You can read it behind me, and it says "Wish it, dream it, and do it." And to be quite honest, I've pretty much lived that. I've done some things that I wanted to do. I've got out of them. One of those would be owning a party store in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
But we could barely probably find a mall local anymore.
Yeah.
But there is one that's
Oh,
successful. But other than that, there's no more malls. So we appreciate your insight on the balloon industry and all that good stuff. So we look forward to hearing more about your journey once everything is back together, and you've retired and all that.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having time to actually do all just balloons. So anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate that you let me come on here.
Oh, you're welcome. Have
Oh,
a
and I
great night.
love you glue. And I love you glue. You turned me on to you glue. I love
The check's
it.
in the
Best
mail, I
stuff
promise.
ever.
Thank you so much for the U glue plug. Well, you have a great
All
night.
right. You too. Bye-bye.